10 years and has served 9 years and is remaining with 1, he is at liberty to apply for community service for the remaining part. I think that one would also ease. So when you look at the scope, it covers a very small area. The other program, like pre-bargaining, has worked to reduce on the on the number of remands, but it does not decongest prisoners, because all those prisoners who go for pre-bargaining must be convicted. And when they are convicted, they only change status. So that's why the question is, the pre-bargaining is a good program for case backlog management, but it is not a program for decongesting prisons.
Now, the challenge here is the number of remandees that prisons have. Now, a person on remand is that person who is still undergoing court trial and they have not been sentenced. They have not been convicted of an offense and sentenced. Now, these are a big problem in Uganda because, one, they do not go for the rehabilitation program.
No, the law doesn't allow.
And what is annoying, there are people that you keep on seeing in and out of prisons.
Yeah.
So, yes, we know you're not judges, but you're the keeper of what courts give to you. In your view, how best can we handle this issue of remandees? Because the law is clear on certain cases, but you find someone says, I've been on remand for 3 years, 5 years.
Actually, the law, I wouldn't say the law has been clear. The law has an issue. And that's why the most affected, by the way, the most affected remandees are not minor offenders. It's basically capital offenders. And when you use this constitution, it tells you that a person triable by the magistrate court is supposed to be on remand as investigations are going on for a period not exceeding 60 days. After 60 days, then this person should be given a mandatory bail. But they will still say, according to the terms and conditions of court.
That according to the terms is where it brings the problem. Because
now, that means it remains the discretion of court, even if you have finished the 60 days, whether they are supposed to grant or not. Then they will say that cases triable by the High Court, the person can be kept on remand for a period not exceeding 180 days. But that's where the biggest problem is. The law does not say that if a person has been committed to the High Court, how long should he wait for trial? Because at committing you to the High Court, they tell you evidence has been got and the prosecution is ready to proceed with the case, but you are going to wait for the next convenient session of court.
Which you can't determine.
Convenient to who? And who determines the court session? It's definitely not the inmate. It's the court. And that's where the problem is. That's why you find that somebody, yes, the law was followed. Within 180 days, this person was committed to the High Court. But after that, this person has finished 4 years on remand. Because he's waiting for the next convenient session. Others even have a chance. They are cause listed. They go to court. When they reach court, normally when they are about 30 cases, the judge handles like 15 or 20. Then he says his time is up. Maybe he has another operation. Maybe it is time for his leave. Then he stops there. To bring those people who have not seen the judge, to go back to court is another thing, because the computer of the registrar says these people went to court. But in the actual sense, these people were not, their case was not attended. You will submit, you will walk to the offices, but eventually you will see the session comes, these people are not there. When you appeal, they say, no, they will come on the next one. The next one, they don't appear. So that's where there is another, that's another big problem, that people are put on session, they are put off on session, and then they are never considered because the computer says these people have been attended to. Others actually have even sat and the cases have gone on. And judgment is on notice. And some judgment on notice have gone beyond 10 years. And judgment on notice is waiting.
So he doesn't qualify under
he's still a remand. Because he was tried, then they said judgment is going to be on notice to say whether you have been convicted or not. Then maybe the judge is transferred away, maybe the judge retires, that file remains redundant. In the records, this person was tried.
Well,
then we have those on the minister's order, those insane people. The person, when he is committed a crime, maybe not in the state of mind, or maybe the insanity grew up while in prison. When you bring them to court and they are able to estimate, to assess and say this person is not in charge of his mental faculties, the judge just refers the matter to the Minister of Justice. I mean, to the minister's order. Say the minister will decide. Now, the question is,
when will the minister decide?
But the judge is the one who studied the law to handle these things. Then it is, but that's how it is framed.
So you keep this person.
Now that's how we keep on accumulating this. To me, there are even people I find in prison abnormal. To find that there is a man is 90 and he's accused of murder. Some of these cases, the law should be setting a limit. At what point? I remember when the graduated tax used to be there. They would say a Ugandan who reaches 65, no paying what? Tax. But as long as it is open, everybody is thrown into the what? The prison.
Now, that said, those are issues to do with the judiciary and then technicalities. Of course, sometimes we won't hide that there could even be issues of corruption. He's not a member of the judiciary. I won't throw those nails onto him and those bullets. There will be misguided missiles. But now let's look. I come back to you. We have people that are in and out of prisons.
Yes, we call them recidivists.
The what?
Recidivists.
Okay.
Actually, in our prison file, when you come the first time, we call you a star.
A star?
Yeah. When you come the second time, we call you ordinary. So the many times...
Why the first time as a star?
Yes, of course, that means we have not had any record about you. So we assume it is an accident, and when you go, you won't come back. But when you go and come back, then you have become too ordinary that you are more comfortable with the prison conditions. So we have
3 times or more?
The bracket is ordinary. Okay, unless one is called a habitual criminal, but these other ones, we categorize them like that. And unfortunately, as you say, there is nothing much you can talk about the remand. And of course, because of the delayed justice, a number of our people get off the hook. Because, for example, if the girl was filed when she was 15, and the case is coming up when she's 23, and has even got married and has had children with another man, do you think she will be open to come to court here to testify about a man who raped her, who may even the current husband does not know that she was raped at one time? So those are some of the problems that over time the evidence disappears, witnesses die, so that by the end of the day you find that actually we have minimal conviction compared to the inflow of remands, simply because of the delayed justice wheel.
Now, this is what I wanted to put for you, Frank. People coming in and out of prisons. To the public, this is their perception. Now, speaking for the ordinary person, most of the times they will tell you, they use most now Luzira and Kitaria, they will tell you, no, prisons have now become a school of criminals. When you ask them why, they will tell you, just imagine, this person was first arrested for stealing chicken. He was taken to court, then to prison. Then when he came back, he was now breaking into people's houses. And we've had some people testify in courts of law. I'll give the recent prisoner who amused me, because in my lifetime I never thought of this, who told the judge how he was busy. He would be busy in Ruzira, preaching, and asked for the judge to extend at his own convenience. You know, that was a very interesting character who chose to be his own law.
There are a number of cases where when I was following, when they reach the gate, they insist that they want to go back. And when you refuse, they go to police and commit a crime.
Now,
So
this is the interesting bit of it. When I was listening to some of people arrested along with him in that murder, I don't want to, but you would hear how they were making plans. They would say in Ruzira, I met so and so, so and so. They recruited me. Then when we came out, we organized how we wanted to steal the car. Then we went to Lunguja. Then we stole the car. You hear that the plan was done within prisons when they came out. So why this also is contributing to the congestion? A person is in prison, in and out, in and out.
Well, Chirabo, you are very right. According to the act, even that act, prisoners are supposed to be segregated according to the nature of their crime, according to their status. Convicts are supposed to be alone, minor offenders are supposed to be alone, capital offenders are supposed to be alone. But where you are keeping 4 people in the place of 1, I don't know whether you have the liberty. I have been even trying to see it in Parliament here, whereby the members of opposition are very few and are occupying a very big space. Then the ones of the ruling government, they are sitting on each other as sardines. And I keep asking myself, does it matter where you sit? But because of those problems, now with them, they are members of parliament. But these are criminals. And you have limited space. So it's not that we don't know we should separate them. The only problem is that we separate them to where? We have even encroached on what used to be workshops for rehabilitation. Still they are all full. Because it becomes very difficult. It's like they have given you a piece of meat for 1 person. But on the line, you have 5 persons to eat, and each one wants the same size of the what? Of the same meat. So that is the challenge. Now, 2, some of those things, some of these things come up. Like during daytime, we have close supervision because they are working. They are being supervised. But the law says when it comes to 5 o'clock, you are supposed to close them. And when you close them, and there is no askari that is supposed to sleep in. That means in a room like this one, with 100 or 150 people sleeping in daily, becomes very hard for anybody to say, Baine, don't talk to Chirabu, but you can talk to Kazui. It becomes very hard. So sometimes that's how some of those interactions do what? Come up. But the bottom line is, and that is another thing you people fall for, most of these people with criminal tendencies are very good stage managers. That's why when they are out sterilizing the people, they are terrible. But every time they come to the prison, you visit them, the stories will tell you, Chirabo will come crying, it will be, they quickly become angels to you. Yet in the actual sense, these people could be deliberately misleading justice. So that you think, say, now the problem is in the what? Is in the prison.
The
problem is in the prison. But in the actual sense, how did this person come to go to the prison? Before you think the problem is in the prison, remember, the prison is not an open place for everybody to enter and go out. The person comes because of a certain question mark. But when he comes to prison and tells you that everything has started from here, this is where the source is. So
I learned to, I advanced my skills in criminality.
You see, if you have developed a criminal instinct, you may advance from different corners. It can be the prison, it can be in the community you are, it can be your peers. So advancement can always happen from anywhere.
Now, Frank, on that, we believe that prisons, more so after the colonial rule, are supposed to be rehabilitation centers.
Yes, they are.
That a person should come in prisons and leave a changed person. Reoffending should not be an issue. So that would then be
a prison is like a church. When Jesus came and the Bible was put, literally everybody was supposed to understand God, and everybody, the commandments are very few and 10 that everybody is supposed to adhere. We should be living a world of angels and saints. But is it so? Humanity doesn't live like that. There is a recycling of instinct. That's why even when you watch Nature Wild, it doesn't matter. Even if you confine a cub of a lion and does not see anything killing, the day you introduce like a rat, you will see it chasing it to kill it, because the thing is running in what? In blood. That's why, yes, we rehabilitate. And our recidivism is telling you is now actually at 14%. But 14 people out of 100, for us in terms of performance, it is high. But 14 people in the community can be a nuisance. I was following a story today of this man who escaped in the prison in Uganda. A gangster.
Yes.
Just one person. Now everybody, they have put curfew.
Oh, and they weren't even rated a TV station.
They haven't rated a TV station because of one what? One person. So sometimes, yes, we are not doing 100%, but I can assure you, when we look at the rate of our performance, honestly, that's why I'm trying to tell you, do you understand the nature of the people you bring to us? How much do you think you need to put in for this man who was getting girls and killing them, about 3-4 of them? Somebody has killed 4 times. How much time do you think you need to change him in the prison?
That one is not for a rehabilitation program. Those are the angels you have.
But you have
they have been sentenced for almost ever and ever life imprisonment.
By the way, even them, they also need that therapy. If you leave them like
someone on death row, what therapy are you giving them?
Yeah. You have to give them hope. You have to be religious empowerment. Some people have been pardoned from death row.
Yes.
Actually, those are the ones you even have to concentrate on. The Karuhangas, don't you know the Karuhanga who was on a death row? Even Chigura was on a death row. But because of rehabilitation, that's why they are out and ambassadors of prisons. So even when you're on death row, you get that. Now, but when you produce like Chigura, who has become an ambassador, they don't see your contribution. They think somebody is responsible. Now, like this case of this former, may his soul rest in peace, Sobi. I remember one time everybody was up in arms. You know, you are the ones growing these criminals, this Sobi. Sobi was in prison 3 times. Every time he came, the first time he was released because for want of evidence. The second time, DPP withdrew charges. The third time, his case had no witnesses.
Yes.
And then he would, so anytime he would go out, he would start from where he stopped, but the blame would still be thrown to what? To prisons. It is like when you go to Murago, we have very good doctors. Even if you go to whatever hospital, there must be people who will die.
Well, first, pardon me, let me interject. I have to go for a short break, and I'll be returning with Frank. Very interesting discussion regarding prisons. Don't forget that anyone is a potential prisoner. So it is time we fight for the rights, because when time or situations get you there, so that it's a better place. We'll return shortly.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
The non-aligned movement played a pivotal role in the decolonization process during the 1960s and 1970s. As former colonies gained independence, the non-aligned movement provided crucial support, both diplomatically and politically, to these newly sovereign nations. The movement's stance against colonialism aligned with aspirations of countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America.
Ajuko.
Yo.
Wachiko. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda wange, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Ajuko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for keeping it on UBC TV. I'm Robert Chirabonyonyitono, and with me I have Senior Commissioner of Prisons and spokesperson of Uganda Prison Service, Frank Baine, with whom we are discussing release on parole as one of the ways of decongesting prisons. Unfortunately, Uganda, much as we have it in our law books, it is something we are not practicing or implementing of late due to reasons that he earlier stipulated. And we are trying to look at other alternatives. How do we find a solution to these high numbers? Because the fact is, we may not be able to build enough prisons regarding the high crime rate, because finances matter. But then can we have other ways of ensuring that we have lesser people in our prisons, both convicts and remandees? But more so, the concern here is on remandees. Can we have these people out, or can we have them serving their sentences and then they are able to reform? Now, Frank, most of the times you pride in Uganda prisons registering low levels of reoffending. Now, you only put convicts on rehabilitation. Why not remandees as well?
Because the law is clear that every Ugandan is innocent until proven guilty. Now, it is like to say, forgive me, you must agree that you have done wrong. But if somebody has not done wrong, he cannot say, forgive me. Now, and you see, it is all about the mindset. The moment a person is found guilty, then he understands that he's on the wrong side of the law. And whatever is being done is to help this person to go back to the right side of the what? Of the law. But when a person is telling you that, look, me, I'm on the right side of the law, can you show me where I have done wrong? Then you say, now let me correct you. You correct what? Nothing. Somebody tells you, I have not done anything wrong. I don't need any treatment. If you are a doctor, and I'm telling you, please, doctor, I may be shivering, but me, I don't have malaria. Bring your machines and test. Remove my blood and confirm whether I have malaria or not, then I get treatment. You say, no, I'm not going to wait for the tests. Let me start you straight on what? On treatment. Does that one make you a professional doctor? No. That's why I was telling you that even when you are saying that, you know, how comes you are supposed to rehabilitate, but these incidents come? And I was giving a good example of a hospital. when you see patients die in the hospital, you cannot say it is because the doctors don't know what to do, they are not doing what they are doing. The law of nature is that some things must work out, others will not. If technology was the solution, we wouldn't be having criminals in USA, the first world, but their criminal rate is even much higher. The only advantage with them is that they decided not to report those wrongdoings. Out of 1,000 cases, they report 1, but they are doing badly. That's why reoffending in America is at 96%. Meaning, out of 100 people who have been in prison for a criminal offense, 96 go back. Yet they have all the facilities, they have all the monies, they have all the knowledge. So that means that humanities are processes. But rightly, what we are doing is to bring out, when you bring out this law like parole, we are opening up the eyes of the stakeholders. This is the time when we are trying to renew the national IDs. I think this should be the time NIRA should explore a component of including a criminal record of a person on the national ID. You know, these things, even it affects when we are doing recruitment. Very many people have become smart. Why do you think you are able to get the forgery from NASA? There are those who go to Dubai. The forgery of Dubai is more advanced. But it still remains as a what? A forgery. Now, with them in the system, you finish P7, it is indicated when you finished P7. You finished the university, it is indicated when you finished the university. So when somebody just needs your NIN, insert it in a computer and it brings everything about Baine and Chirabo. Before we reach there, some of these things are very hard to implement.
Now, thinking broader, there are many countries, even the developed world, where we have private prisons.
South Africa tried and failed.
Uganda, is this something that you can think of? Because you have
the question is,
people.
The question is, you see, it was all about
I build my thing.
I would say the national doctrine. Why do we have prisons? Prisons are meant to separate the deviants from society, realign them and take them back to what? Society.
Society, yes.
And the state is the one responsible for this service. Now when you say the private entity comes and does the work, the private entity is more interested in the profit that it will get from offering the what? The service. Therefore, will it be quality service? Will it align on the nationalism of the country?
Can be public-private partnership.
Yes, that's that. Do you know
like
why?
We have people like in sports. We have people where the likes of Lawrence Mulindwa, they have a pitch. International games are played there. He gets the money. So here someone constructs their structure, maybe have the prison waters and all that. Then because even government premises, government
I want to ask, for example, okay, Chitaria is famous. If Chirabo had his money,
yes,
would you be willing to partner with the government to build Chitaria? How would you get back your money?
In the long run.
How do you get back your money, river on the long run? How do you expect to get it?
Your government pays me for these prisoners being there.
Government pays you?
Yes.
After how long? If those who supply
premises,
food,
government
if those who are supplying food are not paid in time, if those who
that is where now the problem is.
So you see, this private-public partnership comes out well in commercial enterprises. Somebody says, for example, Munyonyo has partnered with Sudil. The hotel is there to do business. Whether the government is going to pay in time, this person is busy collecting some money. But a prison, whereby you are supposed to put prisoners and then make sure they feed, and then you treat them. It becomes PPP. Nobody wants to partner for a prison because there is no economic benefit. Now, you are talking of a government, that government should pay me. Now, if government is willing to pay you, then it should have had the capacity to build without even involving you. So, those are some of the challenges. But two, can you go to the World Bank and ask for a grant to build prisoners, to build prisons countrywide? I don't know which economist will authorize that grant. I don't know. They want to authorize a hospital, they do a school, but tell them that a prison, with the question mark is whether the prisons will become many and the government will not now use it against the opposition. You know, there is a lot of the dynamics around. And by the way, not here. Surprisingly, all the conferences I've attended worldwide, prisons are crying the same cry. They are not anywhere in the priority list of governments. Not anywhere near. Even you, if you wanted to become a politician, you go to your area and say, I am going to make sure we have a prison here, and see whether you'll get one vote.
I remember there was a politician who said, we shall expand and make it better. So meaning no, but he was looking at the circumstances.
Absolutely. That's what even the Auditor General, if you read the Auditor General is telling you, he is telling you that almost over 60% of our staff quarters is not only prisoners. By the way, sometimes when we are talking, we are only looking at prisoners. Are staff living in better conditions? When you move, you have moved in these police barracks and army barracks. Are they any better?
Not at all. Not at all.
So that one tells you that we need to fight to develop our country, and the only way to do it is to develop our economy. As long as our economy is not on our side, we shall continue to remain until the end of the day.
You know, recently I had a lot of ray of hope when one of the ministers who was arrested in the Mabati saga came out and said it was God sent for him to go there because now he experienced what prisoners go through, and is going to be the ambassador to see that situations improve very fast. I'm still waiting to see how that good ambassador is doing it, but also...
Well, my worry is one. I thought we should be informed by policies, not by physically being there.
But you've just reminded me, I was reading a book by someone, Chitaka something, and he was talking about the journey of Uganda, some of his biography. Now, he says that we once had a vice president by the names of Paul Muwanga. I don't know if for you you're there. Yeah. Now, that one time he was told that prisoners in Luzira do not have blankets. And he said a prison is not a hotel. How can you request blankets for prisoners? But then time and situations, he landed himself in Luzira. Then when he got there, he said, but there's no porridge in sugar.
There's sugar in porridge.
There is no sugar in porridge. So he said, the other one reminded him that prison is not a hotel. How can you put sugar on the agenda? So we must seriously ensure that we uplift the welfare and standards of our prisoners. Frank, as we move out of here, the big question is then, how are you managing?
Well, of course, the circumstances are that Uganda as a people, we are a communal-minded society. That's why we don't even have gangsters. Now, when we employed the open door policy to allow outsiders to pattern, to come and see, to criticize us, when we introduced the dynamic security using persuasion than force, and that one has helped us a lot to do the management. And we're not hiding away. Fortunately, even the prisoners who are there know it is not our problem. It's not. For example, a remand overstaying in remand can't be a problem of prison.
Yes.
The only thing is that others have a congestion of papers. For us, we have the congestion of human beings who cry to us, who get all the challenges they face, end up with what? With us. Actually, with them, they are more sympathetic. I have been in the field before I came here, but it is not unusual that an askari will go to work with prisoners. And you would say, maybe they would even beat him and then run away. No. They have that, we have that communal.
I use many on my farm when digging, and I want to thank Uganda prisons for that. They are very quick and fast, but even when you see security that comes with them, the way they are cooperating, you're like, so it's really another interesting bit of it.
So I think what we need to do, like I said, as a country, we need to go back to the drawing board. We need to fight, to me, we need to fight crime before people come to the prison.
Yes.
That is the only way to manage the numbers. Because, and how do we do it? We need to enforce the law the way it should be. In countries like in Europe and the like, they use more fines than any other, especially in non-criminal offenses. For example, people committing traffic offenses, what are they doing in the prison? Debtors, what are they doing in the prison?
For sure, debtors. And the number keeps on increasing. Last year when I last we had about 49, today we are talking about 400.
So
and
those people
coming to
can be handled by fines and putting hefty. So like if you overspeed, the camera is there. If you overspeed, they charge you 2 million. I can assure you, they will charge you once, you will never overspeed. For
and this law is real biting.
Now, the biggest challenge that we are having, why is we are increasing criminality? Anytime something logical is being done, politics comes in. For example, if the law of Uganda says anybody to be on a motor vehicle must have a license, but when you are a journalist, out of 10 borders picked at random, how many have a permit?
None.
But who registers these motorcycles? There must be a condition. The other day, I donated a tricycle as a Rotarian to my health community in the village. But one of the conditions they gave me is that I had to get a rider with a valid driving permit and a national ID submitted. And I did. What is so difficult for URA to say, yes, the motorcycle has come, we have cleared, but before this motorcycle leaves here, we want to know who is going to ride it. So that when this motorcycle is involved in crime, you know where to start from. If it is not Baini, who took over from Baini?
Now, it is put on market, then the buyer either chooses to transfer or leave it in the company name.
Now, no, these days, I can go and buy 10 motorcycles. And nobody will know a single rider.
Yes.
They only know me who bought these
motorcycles.
But that's not it. In other countries, they are interested. You cannot ride a motorcycle without having the specific rider. That is as simple as that.
Well, I must let you...
Maybe one small thing is that on Monday we resume normal operations because standby ends this Friday.
Okay.
So dear relatives and friends of prisoners, you are free to visit with effect from Monday.
Well, I just want to thank you so much, Frank. Thank you for your time. And of course, our viewer, thank you very, very much for being with us from 6:30 till the hour of 10, where we come to the end of Good Morning Uganda Extra. Robert Chirabonyo, wishing you a lovely, blessed day. See you tomorrow, God willing, for God and my country. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Have you packed more of it harbor jelly and harbor foam?
Yes, we packed.
It will protect your skin from skin rashes.
More of it pack.
It is a new improved more of it harbor jelly. So soft and smooth.
It is a more of it harbor jelly.
Tell me.
Rashes and irritations. Movit Herbal Jelly and Herbal Soap is rich in natural herbs for a smooth and glowing skin.
Movit all day confidence.
I've seen a number of community members out there that have formed themselves into groups and have identified enterprises, agricultural enterprises, rice and all that, and they've actually been successfully cultivating them. They've gone ahead, the project has gone ahead and also introduced small-scale industries like the rice huller, the grinding mills and all that are managed by the groups. All these are successes.
Actually, Zono Industrial is one of the presidential initiatives which is brought here in Achule land to skill our youth. The skilling is free of charge. What you really need, you have to be within the age of 18 to 35. They don't need any requirements apart from being willing. You have to be willing and